know what?
Yeah.
I could hella just call my exes right now, and it's like, you know what, Jordan, give me a better idea.
That's
What if we just whack it? And then,
Exactly.
You know, and then I whack it, and I'm like, thank you, Jordan.
Yeah. Could you imagine what would have
That
happened?
auto fellatio right there did me a solid.
Auto fellatio. Isn't fellatio when you suck yourself?
I think fellatio means sex.
Does it?
It means
Yeah.
the sex.
It means a sexual act, and then auto is just self-sexual act.
There you go.
Ooh. Did you come up with what you're gonna call yourself?
You know, I was thinking of dragon.
Ooh,
Dragon?
just dragon.
You could be
There
dragon?
go.
What do you think of that?
Dragon sounds fucking perfect. Hey, what's up, Dragon? Hey!
Hey!
This is, guess what?
What?
We're live.
We're live.
recording.
You know what?
We've
I
been
respect
live.
that. Hey, you know what's even better?
What?
Ask me fucking anything, and I'll tell you the 100% truth.
Ooh,
Okay.
man.
About anything.
We have to do our intro first. It's
Okay.
a borderline intro. This is,
Borderline intro.
obviously, this is Nitro
I'm
Ride.
so
Nitro
fucking glad
Ride.
you guys agreed to come pick me up, because the bartender, I was like, can I get a shot of Patron? And she's like, of course you can, sweetie. And then she gave me the whole rest of the bottle, and it was
Damn.
4 shots.
That's not a shot.
That's
And
what
I
that
was like-
smell is.
I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, damn, girl, can I get some lime? And she's like, yeah, of course you can, sweetie. And I was like, why are you so nice?
I love you.
Dude, too bad you jerked off.
Hey, there's
no,
no
no,
one time
too-
you shouldn't have
Too
jerked off.
good I jerked off.
Dude,
I
right?
did myself
Oh,
a solid
Too good, I
by
jerked
doing myself a liquid.
Dude, a low squid.
Yeah,
Oof.
do yourself a liquid, listeners.
Dude, hit yourself with a soft liquid.
No, you know what? But the honest truth is, because like you get it worked up and you're like, damn, you know what? I could totally hook up with my ex. And the reality is, look, you'd hook up with your ex, you'd make promise, you'd write checks you can't cash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then afterwards, you know what? You'd be the asshole, and you'd be asshole rightfully so.
Yeah.
You know what fixes that though?
What?
A little auto fellatio.
There you go. No, it's that
It's
post.
It's
A little-
preventative measures.
No, it is a little bit of spank bank. And you know what? Whoever says they don't spank it, dirty fucking liars.
You need that post nut clarity to make
No,
the
you
right
do, though.
decision.
Really?
You do.
And you know what? Not even the clarity. It's like getting rid of that muck in your head.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, I
Just
You have to pump
you gotta
the sin out.
You gotta shovel
You
the
gotta
snow
pump
out of the
fucking
driveway.
shit out.
Oh, fucking get a sump pump and just fucking hook it up.
But you know what? On the flip side of that, after you masturbate, if you still got feelings, hey, you know those are authentic.
That's very
it is.
true.
You go, you know what? God damn it, Darla, I miss you, you bitch.
Yeah. I can't say how many times I'm like, listen, let's just jerk off first.
Hey, you know
like it's a
level with
negoti-
yourself.
Like it's
Level
a
with- Hey,
negotiation.
and you know what? When you're like, let's
And you
jerk
know
it,
what?
you're like, that doesn't sound that bad though.
Yeah.
Because you know what? There are porn stars
Tell
out
me
there
what I
that
know.
get paid that are happy to be the supplier of your spank.
Dude, just think of how
course.
much porn really saves the world.
Just think of how much
People
porn
who are
there
like,
is.
porn's bad. You know what? I totally get it, like how alcohol can be bad if you have too much of it.
When your dick's raw.
But it has its place.
It does.
And I gotta say, I mean, who the fuck wouldn't have sex with a porn star if they had the chance? But nonetheless, porn stars do society a service.
They do.
I think that I wonder. I need to look up like
Think
the
about
percentage of people that make porn
Uh-huh.
and like how much where the wealth is.
They
in
should be
terms of-
making more.
Because
Because I saw that porn stars only make like 60 or 70,000 a year, and I was like, my God, you do the world a service. You should make at least as much as the president.
Really, $60,000 a year. Every
yeah.
porn store.
Porn store?
Porn store.
Porn
store?
stores.
It's hard to say
Porn
that.
stores
Hey, but on
don't
the
make a
flip
lot
side,
of money.
Par star.
Like a lot of guys, you know, if I had that body and that schlong,
Yeah.
and I got someone's like, hey man, I would love to watch your penis go into someone professionally,
Yes.
I'd be like, wow,
Be like, and now we're back to waxing.
thank you. I know.
We've doubled back
True,
to waxing.
True
The
though.
incorporation is a cornerstone of comedy.
Hey, you know what? On the way to your house, why don't you stop at a little corner store? I'll buy a little handle.
No,
A
no
little-
more drinking
a
for
little
you.
fifth?
You're not drinking anymore.
You know what? I'll be a fucking blast.
You're not drinking anymore.
You know,
Well,
I
we
can
do
actually.
have a present for you. Where,
I
where'd
sound.
it go?
Ooh, is it masturbation?
Well, it's two hands.
Two hands masturbation.
Rotisserie.
Right.
My brother,
Yeah.
how big are you? That's the real question.
And that's our topic of conversation.
How
for tonight.
big are you, brother?
We do actually have a topic, but I feel like it doesn't. The topics never fucking
It's a
matter
scary
before.
gas station.
Yeah, we took you here.
Oh,
to
this is the
fucking
yeah.
take your life.
And now you're gonna get waxed.
This is what I have for you.
Ooh, you're a
So
We're bruising
That's straight
up.
up some
Exactly.
clutch shit right there.
every
though.
Nitro Ride is always accompanied by some iteration of caffeine, sometimes to our detriment.
Yeah,
The last time,
we got tummy sick
So
last
we
time.
got so
full
fucked
disclosure,
up.
I've not had your Ramade before, but My brother, when he was working at the co-op, he said, he was like, dude, your Mate is so much better than Red Bull. And
Oh, dude. It's just the amount of sugar in Red Bull is...
Oh, it's not fizzy. It's easy on my stomach, too.
Yeah.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, man.
Love that.
And that has as much caffeine in it as a fucking monster.
Tell
my
him. Tell him
God,
about
dude.
this. Tell him about this fucking yerba mate.
Have you guys seen The Gentleman? The movie, it's got a...
No.
You know, all right.
It's got
Matthew
Matthew McConaughey in it.
Charlie.
So he in that movie he plays a guy who sells a shitload of weed. He's the weed super lord,
Weed
like the
bro.
Heisenberg.
Yes.
And he
Of weed.
there's a scene where there's this guy who sells a lot of heroin, and he has him, under his grasp. And the guy himself doesn't do any heroin, but he does drink this Chinese tea that's insanely fucking strong. And he was explaining, he was like, you claim that you have no drug, no vice, but you drink this tea.
Yeah.
And he's like, caffeine is as much as a drug as anything else.
Oh, yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, because if you take caffeine away from a caffeine addict,
I hurt.
It will it'll alter their personality for at least a couple weeks.
So I am Coyote, and this is the Cosmos.
I'm the Cosmos.
And Cosmos.
The Cosmos, okay.
Yes, and
Cosmos.
Cosmos will drink like fucking.
I drink like 4 of those a day.
Yeah,
Yo,
easy.
not gonna lie. Back in the day when I was a barista, I was drinking between 12 and 14 shots
dude,
a day.
of course.
When you
can-
stop doing that,
It's a
my god,
It hurts, dude.
your
It
life
hurts.
fucking ends.
It does. No, you can't. The sun is. It makes you feel like you've been doing hard drugs. And I go,
you have.
fuck.
That's the thing.
I know. No,
Just because you can fucking drive and drink caffeine doesn't make it any less of a hard drug.
it's literally accelerating the speed in which your blood is going through your body. And
Absolutely.
That
and,
sure does make caffeine sound scary.
And dude, people die from caffeine all the time.
Blood accelerator.
Oh,
yeah.
dude,
Like
I-
over, like
people-
over.
You ever read
Yeah.
those like Reddit
Really?
posts of the people that had like
Dude.
17 Red Bulls in their fucking
Woo.
heart? Like I've seen the video of that guy who had a bunch of monsters, and his heart was pumping so fucking hard, his chest
I
was like
heard.
a third
Undulating.
hit coming out of his fucking head, his chest.
heard that isn't actually what was going on.
I heard that you
Really?
lie about those kinds of things.
I've literally never told the truth.
We all break down in tears.
I'm actually not Coyote. Rip the fucking mask off. Velma from Scooby-Doo.
You know what? We'd have to have sex at that point.
Yeah.
God, Velma's hot.
Velma's the hottest
Oh
one.
my god.
Velma,
As an
dude,
adult, it's like, if I dated someone who was willing to dress up as Velma, 100%, I'd be like, what's your ring size? How big of a diamond do you want? I will 100% propose now. Right now.
Now. Holy cow, right now.
Yeah, Velma's hot. Daphne's not as hot as Velma.
No, of course not. Dude,
Grow
growing
up.
up, my dad
That's
was,
when you grow up.
Dude, my dad was always like, yo, Daphne's the hottest, hun. Even as a kid, I was like, nah, man, Velma's definitely the hottest.
You know,
He's all, you fucking nerd.
100%. Yeah, they're like, oh, you fucking, you
E-boy.
nerd. It's like, I mean, yeah.
You're all, Dad, you know me.
So
Yeah, of course.
we actually have a topic today.
Okay.
Tonight.
What's
And
the topic?
It's
dark outside.
It's very that's also it's against the grain. And then we have another co-host, and also it's dark outside. But what are we talking about?
I don't remember. We were talking about,
We're talking
was
about
it identity?
Identity.
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 Ooh, I could talk a lot about this.
Perfect.
Ooh.
Now there you go. Be 100% honest about identity.
Yeah. What hits you? What hits
Okay,
you
so-
when you're confronted with the topic of
So when we're
identity?
talking about identity, are we referring more to who I see myself as a person, or who I want to be
Well,
as a person?
well,
One
these are
then the
all-
other, whatever.
yeah,
Anything.
these are
It's so loose, man.
all faces of identity, like who we aim to be, who we see ourselves as, and probably also how others see us. I imagine that's the three
Yeah.
kind of faces
Sure.
of identity.
Well, one thing that I wanted to talk about in the very beginning of identity, keep in mind, viewers, I am absolutely wasted. Regardless, I am a rather articulate person to begin with, so I'm not sure how much of that will be lost in my drunkenness.
We'll see.
But, so, Tim Ferriss talks a lot about identity and how people perceive themselves versus how they perceive each other in society. And a lot of people perceive themselves as a job title. For example, someone says, hey, who are you? You say,
I'm a carpenter.
I'm a carpenter. I
Firefighter.
am a forester.
I'm
I
a
am
pizza
XYZ.
guy.
Pizza
Reality,
Pizza man.
who you are as a person is a lot broader than that. But, especially on, I'm sorry, I'm trying to bend the top of this fucking can a little tad. God, I fucking,
You're
when I
so
was a
strong.
teenager, I bit into a can and chipped my tooth, but I fucking didn't stop.
Ooh.
I got these canine teeth that are insanely sharp. And I can bite into cans and rip holes in them just from fucking biting. So anyway, I digress.
Wolf blood.
He talks more about the simplicity of casual conversation with a stranger, and he refers to you find yourself wanting to surmise yourself into a simple sentence because it makes casual conversation easier. So you say, I am
Job title?
XY, job title, XYZ.
Yeah.
And me, my particular life, I was always under the understanding that I had to make a lot of money and then I would get a house and I would get a family. And now I make a lot of money. People ask me, oh, who are you? And I say, oh, I'm Jordan. I'm a lot of things. I'm myself. Or I'm Dragon, I should be saying.
Either way.
We don't really stick to it.
I'm a insurance broker. But in reality, it is so much deeper than that. I'm a comedian. I am a person. I'm Jordan. I am a...
Yeah.
There's so many things that define you, but in reality, when you have these casual conversations with...
Fantastic lover.
Fantastic lover, that's right. I do pride myself on
Hell yeah, dude, you got to.
Yeah.
I think that sex, because of its simple taboo, a lot of people don't want to talk about
it's to their own detriment.
Yeah, to their own detriment. But in reality,
Man, could you imagine if somebody came up to you, you're like, "Hey, what do you do?" It's like, "Well, I have a lot of anal sex.
Yeah, I'm really good at it.
I'm proficient in anal sex.
Really good at eating a butthole, which is what probably.
And people are like,
most of
"Oh,
us
you're a
wanna say.
pervert," but fucking in reality, man, who doesn't like eating a good ass?
I've eaten a good ass.
You know,
a couple
I've eaten a
times.
good ass. Eating ass, man,
But who does
underrated.
Who likes eating a bad ass?
That being said, people are
That's
like, "I don't
when
like
you're
eating
really
ass."
into
It's
it.
probably because your partner does not cleanse their butthole thoroughly.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh, you like eating ass? You like eating shit?"
You're
Who
like,
don't
no.
like eating shit? Nobody fucking like eating shit. But hey, you know what? No shame though.
Yeah, if
do.
you love, I'm Mitchell and I love eating shit.
Never yuck. never yuck.
The
any
mask is
yummies.
off now.
Hey, but in reality, the thing of it is that you feel obligated to have casual conversation with a lot of people
Yeah.
simply by them saying hello, how are you, or the simplicities of that. But when you define yourself by merely a job title, one thing a lot of people don't understand is that you listen to the things that your voice says. So when you say, I am just,
Right, yeah. You
insert job title,
hit the
you
period.
are undermining yourself. And although it feels casual and, like funny, this and that, I am...
Repetition is learning, man.
Right. That's exactly right. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of this comes down to taking yourself more seriously, because a lot of us grow up and they say, you don't want to be egotistical, this or that. But the reality of it is, guys, nobody lives in your body but you.
Yeah.
And if you're not kind to yourself, how can you expect anybody else to be kind
Totally.
to you?
Yeah.
No, the last time we were talking, I was talking about how if there's a part of you that you can't accept, or you're angry at, or you despise, and you chastise it all the time,
Right.
you don't, but you say, "Oh, I love myself." You don't, because you're not bringing that part of
Right.
yourself
For real.
into the fold.
But you have to vocalize that all the time.
No, you
So-
do. You
Yeah.
do.
There was a point that you made a few days ago,
Yeah.
if I may. I think I talked about it a little bit when we were riding last time, but there's this like little person inside
Yes.
of you, and they are learning from your actions and your words. So every time you say, "Oh, I'm a fucking idiot," or
Yeah.
"Oh, god damn it, I'm so stupid,"
That's what they
Yeah.
or "I'm sorry, you just totally fuck up that 3-point shot. You're like, I am the worst at basketball that's ever walked this planet." You just further convince that little person inside of you that you really are terrible.
I try to explain to people, there's something that I'm really serious about in relationships, because when I date people, I'll hear them say, "Oh my god, I'm such a fucking dumbass." And I get really serious, because although I have a really strong comedic background, I've been a stand-up comic professionally, I've made money off of being a stand-up comic. A lot of stand-up comics
Big old dick.
make jokes to their detriment, but that being said, a lot of it is because they haven't learned how to not do those jokes.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take a step back and talk about what I was just talking about. It is really, really important that the little coyote, little cosmos in you does not hear you say those things, because they don't understand it's a joke. So when you say, "Oh, I'm such a fucking dumbass,"
Yeah.
they don't know that's a joke.
No,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
And
And
so-
then repetition, and it believes it.
Yeah.
You believe it.
And so
As
that's
the
the thing.
truth.
So, look, that being said, it's like people can agree with that. Like, "Oh, I totally agree with that. I don't think I should do that." But it's hard to get out of the habit. So I always suggest learning new ways to be either just as funny or just as creative while being kind to yourself. Guys, I'm super fucking wasted. I can't look straight right now.
Please
So-
don't fucking yarf in
It's
my
okay.
No, don't worry about it. I'll let you know.
You came in looking by in the first place.
My mouth's not watering. I'm not going to throw up. Don't worry about
Nice.
it.
Okay.
I got really good at knowing when I'm going to throw up.
Fuck yeah. God bless the people that know when they're gonna throw. I'm
Yes.
Right,
not
right,
that,
right.
but I know the Cosmos is that, and I know pretty damn well that you're that.
You can listen to the physical, like when
Yeah, the whole-
viewers listening. If you think you're not going to throw up, but your mouth is watering like a dog, you're going to
You're
throw
gonna
up.
throw up.
Fucking vomit.
Your body's primary concern is to protect your teeth from the acid,
Yep.
which is why like a lot of people that suffer from bulimia have bad teeth.
Yeah.
Is because stomach acid is a very fucking
Oh,
strong acid.
It'll fucking melt metal eventually.
No,
Whoa.
right.
Whoa.
Yeah, kind of like a fucking goat. Anyway,
I didn't know that.
so I suggest the viewers listening, you practice this instead of self-harm. Practice talking about
This road
yourself
sucks.
in an exaggerated positive way. For example, if you were to make a piece of art and you thought, God, I fucking fucked up, do not say that. Instead say, my God, I'm fucking Picasso. You know, Da Vinci had nothing on this art because it's funnier.
Yeah.
It is.
And the little person inside of you will hear those positive things and they will love you more.
Totally.
I can't tell you,
Because-
like, I've implemented this, even before I really knew the practice, a couple of times back in the, I was playing volleyball with some of the guys in the crew, and, like, I was just eating so much shit, and I was like, you guys better fucking throw your hats down right now, because there's no way that you are going to come back from this fucking hailstorm, you understand me?
The hailstorm. Get out of here.
Those things are funnier. So
Oh, yeah.
self-detriment
They are.
is funny, but when you say these things, people will laugh harder. And you'll start to love yourself more. And if you do that long
Yeah.
enough, and I'm talking just a few months, you'll notice a difference.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, in our culture, we're adapting to this place where self-deprecation is seen as something that's really good because
Right.
it's tied to, like, humility.
Right.
And being humble.
Right.
And I think that maybe we need to take another look at that and throw it back under the microscope, because what's probably happening is exactly what we're talking about. People are just fucking starting to really not believe in themselves anymore.
Right. And that's number one thing is, so you grow up, you think be selfless. And don't get me wrong, being selfless on large scales is great. For example, you know, sacrificing yourself for a greater good.
Yeah.
Or
But
you know,
eventually,
defending the meek. But, however, you need to not put yourself last.
oh, you can't, dude. I did that for the last probably 6 years, and it just, you know, you start wondering why you don't have anything and why you've been on a treadmill for fucking years, and you just get so frustrated because you're working so hard. You're
Yeah.
like, first off, my work ethic is fucking spectacular. I'm fucking kicking ass. I'm getting up. I'm going to a job I don't like, and I'm doing all the work. And but at the same time, I'm allowing somebody to live in my house and be late on rent, and but because I know them so well, and I can't not see that. I you know, taking the whole thing into a whole, it's like, okay, I can only fall on my sword until it's run me through all the way, and I'm a fucking shish kebab.
It's not sustainable.
It's
And
not.
like what you always say, man. You gotta be some stick and some carrot.
Yeah,
you can't be all
man, you
one or the
can't
other.
be all one or the other.
Yeah.
And
So, something to be said off what you're saying, I'm going to say a hard truth.
No hard truths.
Something that
Only
my
very soft,
Right.
flaccid truths.
liquid
Some-
truth.
something that my grandfather said to me that, although I understood, which a lot of people can grasp, it's hit me more as an adult. Look, your friends are going to move on without you, and so it's a very hard reality of life. You're going to grow up, and when you're an adult, your friends are going to have their own world. They're going to live without you. They're going to move on. They're going to have their own family, and so when you put yourself last all the time, the hard truth you'll come to is that these people you were putting yourself last for, they're going to move on and put themselves first.
And then you're just empty gas tank with
And so-
nothing.
and
Eventually,
so
you'll run
you-
out of people to put first.
That's exactly right. And so you will spend your emotions and your time and your energy making sure that people around you are happy, but those
Yep.
people will move on, and it's not in a negative way. It's just
No,
that
that's what happens.
life will go on without you. And so, I mean, I was telling Coyote just a few days ago, like, I have a whole life that you haven't been part of.
It's so true. And you're a fucking, I mean, I can't think of a better example of that than you, Dragon. Like, fucking,
like,
I don't want to give too much away about, whoever the fuck you are.
like,
but
my
God
name
damn.
is on the side of a building 2,000 miles away.
He's made a lot of fucking money, and he's lived with like a significant other, and they had dogs and a house, and he's bought cars, car, and
Several
just,
cars.
like fucking a whole. Like you like finished, like
Yeah.
you
No,
like
I
had the
am-
whole hero's journey.
For intensive purposes,
In a different
I
state.
am retired now.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality of it is, guys, look, something that you should really take to heart, people that come to me and ask for advice, like, hey, how do I end up doing what you were doing, or how do I end up having a similar life? The number one thing that I tell people is, look, you need to accept reality as it is. You need to stop pretending like things are different as they are. And so when you accept that, you learn to play the game better.
Totally. Well, you got to own it.
Yeah,
Right,
you,
and so-
you got to know.
Really.
You need to accept that the reality of the matter is that there's no brain. Your brain is not in anybody else's head, and so your body that you pilot every single day with your brain,
Yeah.
if you're not thinking about that person that you are, nobody else is going to think about you for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a couple more.
Yeah. I would love to get like a bag of chips or something.
Okay.
There you go.
You guys want to jump in?
I'm down to chill. Did you get my tampons?
I took a guess.
Oh,
You said a little one?
Little one.
I cannot believe I was capable of getting back in the car on my own.
You know, like you said, you're there. You're at the
Title
mountaintop.
back here, Coyote?
What?
Oh my God, it is.
That is my birth certificate.
Oh, what the?
That's my title.
Your title as an American.
Yeah. As a human being.
You get pulled over, it's like you have your birth
I
certificate
didn't know
on
your
you.
middle name was James.
Mm-hmm.
It's my
Wow.
grandfather's
Do
name.
you know my middle name?
No.
It's John.
Is it really?
It is.
We're almost kind of
two
similar in
whitey
our
names.
names.
JJ's,
I know.
baby. You're
Yeah.
vajayjays.
That's so true. James
Couple
and
of
John.
fucking
Yeah, I was
vajayjays.
born in Sonoma, though.
Sonoma,
fuck?
though.
Yeah, my parents.
Locals only.
Yeah, no.
Get the
My
fuck
parents
outta here,
thought that Sonoma was a better hospital, so my mom was in labor. They fucking drove to Healdsburg.
I mean,
did.
they
I would-
ain't wrong.
I would be.
They ain't. Dude, I'm
so true.
that doctor from fucking. I was born in Ukiah Hospital. My dick has a scar on it, dude. They fucking.
all fucked up.
Dude, they fucked my dick up and my brother's dick up. They need to fucking
Are you
change that.
circumcised?
Yeah,
I didn't
Yeah,
know
of course.
I'm cut,
Almost
baby.
every baby, including me,
Oh.
almost every baby was before year 2000. It wasn't until year 2000 that it became really unpopular.
Right?
Mm.
No, it's really. My thing is, it's like I doubt I'll have if I have a boy, I'll have him circumcised. But
Oh, no, me neither.
And that's
Yeah.
the weird part. It's like, Dad, why is your dick all weird? It's like, oh well, that's just how it is.
Back in the
Back in-
1900s, baby.
Back last millennium.
Back when we maimed children, just fucking cut off their.
In the name of the hell of it.
See, some people have very passionate views about like the circumcision of
Right.
babies.
My identity is not in my foreskin.
There's so many fucking nerve endings in there. There's like 4 million.
Do
nerve
you know
endings.
what they do with the foreskins left over? They make pork rinds out of them.
They
That's
didn't
what I
eat
thought.
them. They just gobble that
That's
shit
that
up.
chicharron, baby.
And that's why doctors are immortal.
Jewish doctors never die. They're full of
That's where,
foreskin, dude.
that's where stem cells come from. Is foreskins.
Every time they eat a foreskin, their beard gets 1 inch longer.
Yep. They get a new curl.
They get another zero.
It's
in their
only the
bank account.
Hasidics.
That's probably what happens.
Oh.
Identity.
Identity.
No,
When I try to, when people, oh, what do you do? It's like, oh man, I have to. Oh man, what am I not doing?
Well, yeah, what don't I do?
Like, and like you were saying about being able to take yourself, it's really weird because I don't think it's necessarily taking yourself as seriously as not taking a title too seriously.
Right.
It's like, because and that's the difference between like that's what Buddhism talks a lot about with attachment. Is like you're attached to the name that I'm a fucking CEO of Walmart and I'm fucking and that's you're so attached.
Yeah.
You're a nothing without it.
Right, and sometimes people get so depressed when they quit jobs they don't like anymore.
Oh, dude.
Because the
What
job
do I have?
gave them status.
Yeah.
Look, man, here's the thing about it. Look, my ex's dad is the director of an airport, which for job titles, as far as job titles go, is pretty cool. It's
Pretty fucking good.
I make 2 times the money he does.
Whoa!
He's like 67, and he was so arrogant all the time because that's who he was. He was a director of an airport.
Yeah.
But look, man, the thing about it is that I'm just Jordan. I'm just a dragon. And
JJ Dragon.
JJ Dragon.
you need to.
J Drag.
J
So
Drag.
Tim Ferriss, in his book, it's just a 4-hour work week. He talks about whenever somebody asks him that, he says, I'm a drug dealer, because what he does is he sells vitamins that boost your brain power, and he made $1 million off that. So he says it because it gets people to shut the fuck up. But people really get caught up in who they are as a job.
Well, that becomes your whole identity.
I mean,
It's your why.
it's just so much of your fucking time. How could you not be that?
If some people just don't have anything else, like imagine being devoid of family or friends or anything like that your whole life, and all you know is that, well, I need to make it, and you do, but you have the drive and you're smart, and you just go totally left brain, and left brain is all about categorization and status, and no color, all numbers, and you just work that side of the brain, and if anything happens to that, those are the kind of people that like people that like Scrooge McDuck is a great example of that. Like just greedy, Scrooge. Scrooge is a great example of that. Just like has all the money, doesn't want to share.
Scrooge McDuck,
it's mine. It's you just become that. Like money is an identity. Like I don't know. At this point, I'm just glad to be myself, and I love that. For me, I'm trying to attract people that are themselves.
And the question, what are you, is kind of fucking, I don't know.
None of us
really
like asking that, but we all do. Because that's just what you do.
It's a societal norm.
I was going to say, like, how much of that is just totally imposed? Like, it really depends. I guess the meaning behind the question really depends on who's asking it.
Well, what do you want to be when you grow up? What are you going to be when you grow up? It's forced
That's
on you your
very
entire life.
One.
And
very common. It's like, what are you doing? What are you after?
Your attempt to
What's
tell
your
a child that this is going away soon. You better get on the train, Jimmy.
God, existential dread.
I'd like to point something out.
Yes. Too bad.
I know, right?
No
Fuck
point.
you, dragon.
Yeah, no point.
Get out of the fucking car. With your goddamn peanut butter M&Ms, which are the best.
Oh, you have some kind
The best M&Ms. Fuck yeah, you can. I got the
Peanut
shareable
butter.
size, baby.
Whoa, dude.
You know why I got the shareable size.
Wow, you really do make a lot of money, huh?
Yeah, man.
You go, baby.
You get the sharing size for yourself. That's how
You can
that.
have some too, buddy.
Well,
I'll
Get in
be
there.
that.
Take
I'll
a
be
handful,
that.
buddy.
Oh, buddy. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. Everybody knows peanut butter, not peanut. Peanut butter M&Ms are the superior
That-
M&M.
Oh,
They
these
are.
are.
They're fucking incredible, aren't they?
Whoa.
They are. No, they always have been.
Great. Now my throat's gonna.
A match made in
swell up.
Hades.
Yes. Oh, Persephone.
So. What the fuck?
What were you saying? What were you saying? Dead air, dead
Crazy.
air.
Okay.
Deader.
What was I gonna say? We were talking about. Fuck.
Peanut butter is an identity. if you're a yellow
Identify as peanut
M&M.
butter. So, I think the question, what are you planning to do?
Yeah, what do you get?
Oh,
when
thank you.
grow
I
up,
figured it
Jimmy?
out.
Okay.
Okay, so something I always understood from age 7, and I remember this because I sold my first N64 when I was 7 years old.
Your
Damn.
first
I know,
Empire of N64.
No, seriously, like my first Nintendo 64, and this is not like a parable or a lie. This is a very genuine. What happened to me? I was 7 years old and I sold it, and I realized at that time, at that moment, that I wanted to be a business owner. And so when you grow up, when you go to high school,
When you grow up.
they always say, everybody around you, you go to college so you can get a good job. You go to school so you can get a good job. And even
Yeah.
now, we were talking about jobs. Nobody ever says, become the person who makes jobs.
Yeah.
And when I was 7 years old, I realized that. And ever since I was a boy, I've always thought, I want to be the person who makes jobs. Because everybody says, go to school to get an education to get a job. Then being the one who makes jobs must be a pretty cushy gig.
Yeah.
And it is.
Well, it's not really fought after in the same sense as
Right.
everybody's trying to acquire
It's certainly
the job.
less advertised. You
Right.
know?
And so, because people are scared of risk, and so they don't want to teach you risk.
Yeah.
And so I grew up to be that person. I opened a firm. I employ people, and my employees make a lot of money. And I make a lot of money, and I don't work. I'm retired. And I'm only 24 fucking years old.
Yeah.
So, the rule rule 1 is accept the world as it is, and then learn how to beat the game. Now, when I say, like, beat the game, it doesn't mean I'll be a fucking hustler. No. Fuck that shit. People who say, be a hustler, do the grind, those are people who are just really good at being an employee.
Yeah.
So,
The drone
that's true.
aspect.
We really do herald the people that are very good at being employees.
Right.
Well, you need them. It is a mentality that makes sense.
And it's definitely
is
fucking 100,000 times better than being a bad employee.
it takes all kinds of people, and if someone's going to be a drone, at least be a fucking and aware that you are trying that you see the good in what you're doing, and it's worth droning on.
Yeah. I think it's important for everybody to be there at some point.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be in the fucking trenches swinging a tool.
Yep.
Right.
You know?
Right.
To get the understanding.
Yeah. Get the
Well, nothing's
context.
worse than a boss that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and then is yelling at you to do it better, and you're like,
God.
dude, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking
I
about.
remember a point where I was working at an agency for an agency, and I was getting told, like, to perform this task. Basically, we were working on a fucking trail, and they kept, because I was kind of like in a leadership, like semi-supervisory position, but it was more so peer leader than anything else. And they were telling me, my supervisor, that it needed to get done faster, and whatever the fuck I was doing, it wasn't working because it wasn't getting done faster. And I remember this moment. It was very empowering. It was also a little immature, but I was like, can you do this?
Yeah.
Can you fucking do this? And you know what? They could not.
Well, good.
They fucking couldn't.
Well, and that's humbling for him, at least.
Yeah, you need to have that fucking perspective before you jump.
Well, if you're running a crew and you're not just it's you get this I'm above you, like, and not I'm not a lead. That's not a leader.
For real.
You need a leader that will be in the trenches with you.
Yeah, there's a very sharp contrast.
You don't want to
between being
fucking
a leader and a boss.
you don't want an asshole sitting there in an air-conditioned truck pointing at you to go dig that hole. Like it doesn't rally the troops.
No, absolutely not.
And it's not like, oh, you need to get to, like, come on, you guys, let's go, let's do
Yeah.
it. Let's is so much better than you.
For real. Set
Right.
some kind of example shit.
But at the same time, that's just what that person learned to become.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they didn't. Not many people want to be a leader, and a lot of people are trying, because that's the way the capitalistic system is set up, where you're trying to get on top of everybody else. It's just rats on a burning ship all the time.
Yeah, there is the difference. Like, there's a difference between being the best and being a leader, and I think most people are influenced towards being the best, but not necessarily being a leader, and they can be different. Like,
Well,
I have some good, like, leadership skills, but there are a lot of different fucking projects that I got tossed at where I was not like the most qualified or the most experienced in that project, rather, you know.
Totally.
Right.
And you can still really do your job.
So when I was a sophomore in high school, one of my best friends to this day, my high school teacher, or at the beginning of the day, he said, I'm going to be giving a seminar today on how the American banking system works. If you'd like to learn, come after school. And I was the only person in the entire school that showed up because
Dude.
I was interested.
Really?
So valuable.
And he explained to me something that to this day,
It's crazy, dude.
it burned. It became a foundation of my personality.
Craziness.
And so, look, there are things. The first rule I teach people is, one, you need to accept reality as it is, and then you can work to best yourself in that reality, and then you can change reality if you'd like. But the truth is is that people who say, I hate big business, I hate making money, I hate profit, I hate capitalism, yada, yada, yada. The reality of the matter is that a lot of these people like me, because I'm one of these people now, is that they do want to teach you how to make money. And so in society, we think that there is a pie, and we each want a biggest piece of the pie. There's a business, we get larger pieces of the pie. There's society, we want bigger pieces of the pie. But the reality of it is, because of how money works in our society, there are also bakers that can make more pies. But people
It's
don't want
infinite pie.
There is, and so people don't want to make pie. They just want a bigger piece of the pie that already exists. And so this teacher, he only taught high school because he liked it. He was already a fucking millionaire. And over the years, he shared those with me, and he was just trying to show anybody who was willing to listen how to make their own pie. But people don't think that. They don't think they can make their own pie. Or more than that, and this is going to be a hard reality for the viewers listening, you don't want to.
I don't want to.
Yeah, no, it's easier to be in the web than...
Sorry, team. It's okay.
It's easier to be a part of the web than to go off and construct a whole new web.
That's true. It's very true.
And
there's some comfort to be found in knowing, you know, this is somebody else's web, that you're not going to be responsible for the downfall of it. And that
is correct.
You know, that you're safe.
The security is there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like where I'm at right now is like, okay, I definitely want to work for myself and do things for myself, and or with the people that are worth working with.
Yeah.
And enjoy doing that together. And then realizing like you're saying how banking works, and it's 9/10, man, is of the wealth is loaned back out, and it's all air.
That's exactly correct.
It's 100% this false economy that's built on a promise.
Yeah.
Or the fear of other people needing to get it done. It's like, okay, well, I know that more people are gonna pay their fucking credit card bills than not, and we can guarantee that. Or we can't guarantee the exact, but a loss is still a win, because they'll fucking eat you alive anyway. So it's like that is the risk. It's like, okay, if I go out on this plank.
Hey, I'm actually glad you said that just now.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people view credit cards a very scary thing.
No, they're not, though.
Which is a healthy thing to think.
Yeah.
But I want to go back a few sentences on what you just said.
Yeah.
You said they'll eat you alive, and so they make their profit back anyway. And I want to talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
So that goes back to my first rule that I always share with people, which is accept reality as it is, and work your way around it. So these businesses and companies, what they pry on is people's misunderstanding or social construct of what it is. So a credit card, very good example, has a very, very strict rule they abide by. And if you choose to learn that rule, you can take advantage of it. So in the last 12 months alone, I have 25 credit cards.
Yeah. Woo.
In the last 12 months alone, I have paid only $70 in credit card fees, and I have made $3,000 off of credit card companies. Because, here's the magic, I read the contract.
Yeah. No, you know what the APR is. You know what I can only, if I can pay it off in 3 years or 2 years or a year, then it's no interest.
Right.
Dude,
that goes back to my first rule, which is you need to accept reality how it is and then work around it.
Yeah.
So accept, instead of thinking credit cards are evil, banks are evil, this or that.
You go, okay, how does this work?
They are bound by contracts. So just understand them better. You don't have to read every sentence to get a good grasp. They send you a 4-page document that gives a general breakdown of what it is, and you can work it to your advantage.
Yeah.
But because people in general think money is evil, they won't do those things. They dismiss them.
Well, it's the reluctancy to be a part of it, and everybody's fighting to be everybody is so mad at it because they haven't read the 4-page paper.
No, right.
And everybody, if you understand that, you can start making some money.
My credit cards bought me a 75-inch 4K TV this year.
Good.
Yeah.
No, dude, so far my credit cards have bought me a shit ton of tools.
many tools.
And I've been able
tools,
to...
though.
Tools are, the thing I've been thinking of is, okay, you got to buy things that maintain wealth for a good amount of time, that you pay for, and they are done. Like a car, the second you drive it off the lot, it's fucking 10,000 grand less. It's less. And then you're paying registration. You're paying for fucking, instead
Vehicles
I buy a
should
fucking tractor and it's mine.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think you have to pay registration on a tractor.
I do think you need to pay. I guess
you
you don't
can-
have to.
you don't have
use
to.
like optional insurance.
Yeah, you get you get whatever, $60-$70 a month if your credit's good or your insurance is
You
clean.
want some Pringles?
I'll Prinkle up.
Yeah, there you go, buddy.
I was
What
reading.
happened
I
to
was,
my chips?
I was reading a meme. It was like,
Hey, you
okay,
take these to Pound Town. I'm all done.
this is Pound Town.
Okay. You want somebody?
Yeah, I
There you go. You take those to Pound Town.
Ooh, oh wait, it's okay. It's,
I think there's
can't-
probably 5 or 6 left. Those are all yours. But
Oh, it was a.
I think there's none left. There is
Oh,
crumbs.
sorry. Hey, will you take those crumbs?
The hell was that? I can't remember who does the joke, but it's like I think that Pringles' original plan was to make tennis balls,
I know, right?
and then on the day the tennis ball is supposed to come, they ended up getting a bunch of potatoes, and they're like, "Fuck it, peel them."
Yo, but Pringles did it right, though.
Yeah,
They take up such little space. Their chips are never fucked up.
there's no air in there.
I know.
It's you're
They
getting
just stacked
as-
them,
Such a
and you were
pain
like,
in the
"Thank
fucking
you,
ass
man."
to get down to the bottom.
I know the last one.
There's a golden period wherein you can both purchase Pringles and fit your hand in the can.
Right? No, right, though.
That lasts like 2 years, and then after that you're too big.
You're fucking done.
What the fuck? So get into the Pringles while you can. But to bring it back to identity, unless you guys want to keep fucking going.
I mean,
I'm going back to that.
that was pretty much.
I'm wondering how much, if you could put like a percentage on identity, and maybe there's just different facets of it, but like how much of it is how we perceive ourselves versus how we are convinced others perceive us.
To me,
And I think they're probably the same fucking thing.
I think that
I don't think
it.
they are.
I think it's the majority. Okay, so you exist because
Yes.
you're the stimulus is you are the node of stimulus.
I think
But
therefore
everything
I am.
else is being like I'm assuming you're here talking to me because
Right.
of stimulus triggers. And in so like I don't know. It's you're basing your reality off of what you're hallucinating around you or perceiving around you
and
and
potentially hallucinating around.
potentially hallucinating around that too, whatever.
Fucking Truman Show.
But I think that a big part of it is to exist in a society, you need to be aware of other people's perceptions. It's like, for me, it's really hard when I can tell something is uncomfortable. When there's discomfort in the wing, I can't deal with it, and I have to fix it. And that's where like people take advantage of my kindness or whatever. And but that's because I grew up learning that was the way. Like, and I don't know, like
the way is to
the way, like
manage comfort, or
or to be a sponge for comfort. Like that's like what I was saying before. Like when I realized just like 2 years ago now that I can do whatever the fuck I want as long as I don't hurt anybody.
True.
As long as I'm checking myself somewhat.
Yeah.
But I can fucking dance around. I can sing.
Amen.
I can do whatever the fuck I want that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And it's such a simple realization. Like it's you'd think it's something that is inherently true, that you can dance or that you can sing or that you can do whatever like the impulse is to do.
Yeah.
But if you're worried about the perception of other people, you're not going to do it. And it keeps you in that box. No, because I'm just a carpenter. I don't do that. No, because my cousin's the dancer. I'm the visual artist. I put myself in a box because of just growing up and learning from situations that's where I needed to be. But in reality, it wasn't true at all. You want to go up to like the dam or something?
That sounds good. That's this way, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes. What do you think, Dragon?
That sounds good to me.
Okay.
I just roll the window down a little bit to make it a little less smog. smoggy.
I love your smog.
Smog it up.
Smog it up,
Smaug dragon.
Poor girls, we don't know who we are.
The reason why I keep rolling up the window is because it really...
The booming.
Yeah, just like having both of the windows down really increases like the ambient noise. But I can...
I feel you.
Yeah. And also, I got this fucking little tangent. I got a little equalizer app on my phone, and I've been throwing our Nitro Rides into that.
Is it sounding great?
Sliding some things around.
My God.
I don't know what any of them mean.
Oh my God.
Some of them have different letters and words. And
Coyote, wow.
Adjust them the right way.
Coyote!
Nitro Ride actually sounds good.
If somebody called me Coyote in bed, I would nut instantly.
Oh, dude.
Dude, I can't tell you... Oh, so this ties in really well to identity. So, I have been wanting to go by the alias Coyote for a very long time. So I wrote a paper. I didn't write a fucking paper. I taught a class when I was working with this agency because I was a part of it. In order to promote, I had to teach a class and a bunch of people had to attend. And mine was on this organization called Project Coyote. I think that's the name of the organization.
Okay.
And what they talk about...
I do feel like that's familiar. Like I've seen that online.
I talked to you about this.
That's right.
When we were in Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
But Project Coyote talks about basically like symbiosis and coexistence with apex predators and humans.
Indeed.
And it's a hard thing to teach. And from what I remember, it's a really long time ago. I remember. Is that like the more you kill coyotes, the more you're going to end up with.
they because when you kill one, they make a cry, and the cry stimulates the mother. To the lack of a response stimulates the egg to make more pups.
It's if the alpha female or male is killed, there's this gnarly struggle for power, and the heat of the female coyotes in the pack is regulated by that like hierarchy.
Oh, and so it's disrupted.
Yeah, and so it's totally disrupted, especially if you kill an alpha male or female. If coyotes are left to their own devices, if I remember correctly,
they just
always
chill.
A fucking little pinch of salt. They always sit at 10 coyotes.
10 strong.
Oh, wow. Which is really fucking fascinating. Like to have, God, we are as far as
like a family of 10 is pretty strong though.
Oh yeah.
No fucking kidding. But as far as animals are concerned, like our biological instincts are so fucking weak against like every other animal on the planet.
Just because of modern comfort.
Yeah, because ever since the bull was invented, humans have been evolving.
Well, and that's the whole thing. It's we evolve through objects, not through genetic.
Yeah, we evolve through altering our surroundings rather than altering ourselves to our surroundings.
Yes.
You know, the interesting part about what you guys are saying, and it also ties back into who you are. So humans, we won the evolutionary war, and so that's the reality of it, is that up until not even the modern era, I'd say up until about probably 30,000 years ago, it was just a competition for who was going to win the evolutionary war, and we did win. So when I say that, I do mean in a very literal sense. We are the smartest. We have fucking roads that we pretend to not play bumper cars.
We're chilling.
No
We're
competition.
chilling.
And we created like licenses and things like that which would flabbergast an animal. Just absolutely astounding. It can't even comprehend a fucking driver's license.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, that being said, it's interesting that we can talk about other species in a way that they can do things naturally that we can't. Because that will, when I mean this in a very literal sense, that will never occur to them. They will never think humans are able to do this and I am not.
But that's what higher thought is, yeah.
Right,
and you know what? I've reached, and I bet that you guys have, I've reached that space before. There's the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? And at the very top is self-actualization. At the very bottom is like food and shelter, I'm pretty sure. And I've been in the space where that's what I needed. You know, I couldn't be concerned about how others were perceiving me or about fucking whether I love myself or not, because I didn't know where I was sleeping and I wasn't sure where the next meal was going to come from.
What animal thinks about like goddamn, I'm sure anxious.
Yeah.
Well, the ones that are trapped in a kennel.
And so we take medicine for that
Mm-hmm.
because we can because we can consciously recognize feelings.
Yes.
What a luxury that is to be able to think about feelings.
Well, to our own detriment once again, though.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna
You
say.
can overthink.
Is that I've been at the very bottom for a relatively extended period of time, and there are days where I can't wait. I can't wait for the season to start kicking off, and for me to be like really just concerned about where food is coming from and how much sleep I'm gonna get and where the water is.
Core necessities.
Yeah.
Return to the fucking.
Because
Return to the outside.
Because fucking ignorance is bliss.
It is.
And you stay down at that level, and a lot of these like kind of artificial worries and despair fall away when your needs are much more concrete and much less abstract.
And that for me is being my own boss and realizing that I can make enough money to suit that.
Yeah.
And I can do it how I want, when I want. I can get up whenever the fuck I want. I can do whatever I want. And sure, I'm not fucking rolling in the dough, but I'm making money in a way that, well, I'm just starting to make money this way.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it in a 5-year plan, which is like the first time I've ever really wanted to do that. And I think that like from the first time I was asked, what do you want to be when you grow up, to 6 months ago, it was anxiety.
Oof.
Just straight up, like, I don't know. Why do I have to think about that?
Yeah.
Like, it won't I figure that out? And I am now. Yeah, sure. I'm 2 months to 30.
Yeah.
But I don't give a fuck. It feels good.
Cosmos, I want to talk about that too when you're done.
Oh, sure, for sure.
So
it's just crazy because like in that whole time where everyone was telling me that I needed to go to college and I needed to go get a better job, it was like, no, I'm learning shit right now.
Yeah.
And sure, I'm doing drugs and learning stuff about it, and I'm
mad respect.
I'm doing a lot of fucking shit that people never do their whole fucking life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking about things that like are making my soul feel better. I'm doing fucking work on myself that my parents refused to do.
Right.
I grew up watching them fucking have a kid too early, get stuck in a job they don't like. I mean, not even too early. They were like 23 when they had me, but nevertheless, it's still hella early.
Yeah.
Like, too early is whatever's too early for you emotionally. Your development.
Yeah.
And they both definitely weren't done being kids. And I'm so glad that they let me take the time to figure out my identity on my own terms, and no one ever was like, well, my son's kind of a fuck up, you know, he's just about 30 now, and he's kind of got some projects and he makes art sometimes. Like, there's so many people that will make you run off the cliff, and because you do want
introduce you to fear.
Yeah, but it's so a construct of and that's where that construct of the outside influence really capitalizes on fear. Introduction to fear, man. It's literally Buffalo running off a cliff, man.
Yeah.
So what you're talking about again, reaching back to who we think we are as people. Keep in mind, I'm still pretty drunk, I'm not gonna lie.
Good.
I'm still doing that one eye looking at your phone bag. So you mentioned just a little while ago, you said, sure, I'm not making a ton of money, but whatever. I want to talk about that for a quick moment.
Yeah.
So growing up, or even as an adult, and this is partially true, and there is some merit to it, I suppose, people will say, you don't have the right, now I'm going to paraphrase this, you don't have the right to feel a certain way because you have never reached that level. Yeah. I'm paraphrasing because nobody will actually say that. It's an asshole thing to say. But that being said, someone will say, for example, if you say, I don't think college is worth anything, unless you actually have a high-level college degree, you saying that won't carry much merit simply because people will say, how could you say that? You could just be saying that because you don't have a degree.
Totally.
So I am now talking from somebody who makes almost triple what plastic surgeons make. I make more than any degree you could possibly get.
There you go.
I make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
Yeah. You are fucking jump roping with how big your dick is right now.
I am telling you from the top, that it does not matter how much money you make. What matters is the quality of person that you are.
Yeah.
And now, the reason that I got to this point was so I could say that.
Good. Well, that's cool.
Wow.
And so I would like to make that apparent that if somebody says he doesn't know what he's talking about, I can guarantee I piss on the income that person makes.
There you go. Good. Fuck yeah, man.
And so, with that being said, you really tie your self-value to how much money you make. And the reality is that that little person inside of you will say, am I really full of shit? Am I just saying this because I don't make much money? Reality is, man, is that I don't work. I'm retired. I make hand over fist money.
Yeah.
But it is more important that the person you become is good versus the important that you become is simply rich.
Definitely. Well, because once you get to the fucking mountaintop off of money, there's nothing there. It's barren and lonely, and there's no...
It's a common misconception that money makes you evil. The reality of the fact is that money merely acts as a magnifying glass for who you already were.
Definitely.
And so there are some rich people who are very evil. It is not the money that made them evil. It is them.
They
who
were the whole
evil.
time. It was their
Right.
their driving force was to acquire this money to better just them, to do selfish
That's
things.
correct. That's 100% correct. And so then there's people who are good and use the money for a lot of very good things. And so another thing that I would just like people to understand is that there is a common misconception that because you're rich, you're therefore inherently bad. But the reality of the matter is money merely acts as a magnifying glass for who you actually are. And so I do know people who have money who were fucking cunts.
Oh yeah.
Before
Same.
they had money, and I
Same.
knew they were going to continue to be super
Oh,
cunts.
well, cunts, but also climb.
Right.
Climbing cunts.
Right. All right.
But,
So-
I mean, people can change, right?
Oh, well, definitely, but making
I'll
more
tell you the
money
truth.
probably isn't going to do it.
Look, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. This is something that I've realized on someone who's made a lot of money and has had a lot of life experience. People won't change. I want to clarify that. It is not impossible, but people people choose not to change.
But that's like the whole you only grow more into who you are going to become.
That's right. And so a lot of people will preach, I change, I'm different, that. The reality of the matter is, you likely won't change simply because that's not something, like, why would you? Like, your life is fine as you are.
Yeah.
Why would you change? Because that would be so uncomfortable. I do know people who have changed, myself being one of them, but that grew from a fear of being one of those people who won't change.
Well, and that's the whole thing. It's like as soon as you turn it around, only you can make that decision, you know. And you can try to, I don't know. And this is where like work with psychedelics and things like that have come into play for me.
Hell yeah,
It's-
dude.
It's like as soon as you challenge this weird shadow self, and I think the reason a lot of people act like cunts isn't because they're inherently bad. It's because they have a deep-rooted issue that they project on other people.
For sure.
And it isn't that they're a bad person. They're a hurt person hurting other people. It's a hurt people hurt people. I mean, some people are just assholes. But if you ask an asshole like, hey man, are you okay? And wow.
Before or after you've done eating it out.
I mean, I think it's like mid spitting on it.
Hey, you know, mad respect.
I mean, you gotta wash it off
Here you bad
regardless.
boys go. Here's some M&Ms for y'all.
Ooh, baby.
I'm all done.
Done
You finish those
squeeze.
bad boys up.
Oh, thank you. But I feel like America right now is a lot of good things. We do a lot of good things, but we don't put our money in the right places. And we don't put it into our citizens. And we don't put it into mental health.
Right.
And
So we put it into bombs.
but we call everybody equal. And in that, you get crazy rich people, both being crazy and rich. You get crazy good. You get crazy good. You get all the spectrum is weird in America, because you see people that are like
Vast.
borderline mentally handicapped with thousands of dollars.
Oh, for sure.
And it's just an interesting playing field when there's still no one helping these people, even the people that escape it and make it without the help.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so strange. Like my cousin's grandma, the Fries, the matriarch of the Fry family, worked with her husband at the mental hospital that's now the Buddhist temple. And
man.
they were there when it got shut down. And just saw the fucking problematic issues of all these mentally handicapped people just with nowhere to go.
Fucking released.
And here we are, fucking 50 years later, and it's a fucking problem.
Right.
It's just, I mean, sorry to get off on that tangent. It's just crazy to see that. It's like, that's what homelessness is a lot of the time, is just these people that have nothing and no advocates, no, like, talk about identity. I mean, I was schizophrenic for 6 months when I was a boy, and it just fucking, it changed my life for the better. I will say it gave
People
me.
don't talk about how common things like that are.
Dude, the more I talk about it, the more other people who have experience talk
doing
about
that
it.
is such a good thing, because I've found that, for example, like me, like I've had a romantic relationship with a man before, and I always consider myself as like pansexual, but like I say like 90% straight, 10% gay.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to talk about things like that, because there are so many, and this is just coming from being a male, a boy, a man. And no, you know, I'm not saying that men have it harder or anything like that. I'm just talking about my own experience here. I think it's really important to talk about things that you go through, so that other boys, especially people younger than you, know that it's okay to talk about.
You got to illuminate that dark conversation.
Yeah.
It's the taboos are stupid, and I realized that from such an early age, because I lost my mind and had to think outside the box.
And you got to tell people that it's like, hey, just so you know, you're not a freak of nature. You're not scary. It's like, hey, if you went through something like what you went through, Cosmos, it's okay. Like, it's okay. Other people have gone through it, and they're okay now.
People are going through it right now.
But because people don't talk about it, you feel like the freak, like the weird offshoot, like I'm a fucked up this or that, and it's like, no, it's okay. Like, this is normal.
Yeah.
This is something, maybe not schizophrenia 100%, but that is something that people go through. Like,
100%.
It's not uncommon. And so, like, if somebody were to go through that, hearing you talk about that, Cosmos, is that it's like, hey, I feel better in my own skin knowing that I'm not this crazy freak out of nowhere. It's like, it's okay, buddy. Things are gonna be all right.
And there is help for you but you need to illuminate that, because no one can know. And that you're like, dude, there's so many. It's like when people get raped and they don't talk about it.
Right,
It ruins their life.
Because nobody talks about it. It's like, okay, no shame. That's a fucked up thing to happen.
No, that's one of the worst things you have to do.
I 100% understand why people don't talk about it for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. But it's a double-edged sword, because it's like rapists make children especially feel like they can't talk about it, and they don't talk about it, and so it makes other kids feel like it doesn't happen normally. But it's so much more common than people, like, as an adult, so many friends of mine, so many male and female friends talk about being molested as kids, and it's like, oh my God, I can't fucking believe it's this common.
Oh, dude, it's like 1 in 10. I think it's more.
Yeah, it's more. It's like 3 out of 10. It's like,
dude, it's fucking gnarly.
Fuck, man.
Well, and you gotta, I mean, and that's like where my mom really helped me with my mental issues when I was going through. She's like, okay, like, I've experienced some really heavy shit, and I'm gonna tell you all about it.
Yeah.
So that if you experience this, you can come to me.
Why are parents so scared of telling kids that?
Because they think that you're gonna go and talk, like
because you'll talk to other people because they're not comfortable.
You'll go tell your parents' secrets to people.
Yeah.
But it's an advisory tale, and you shouldn't be ashamed.
That goes back to my first point. You got to accept reality as it is.
Yeah, you have to.
And it's so hard, but the reality is that a lot of people get molested in their life, and it's so fucked up.
Well, and that becomes their identity because they can't talk about it. A thought like that is like a free radical. It's just pinging around in your body, destroying your genetics. It is a free radical. That was a good point. Destroys you from the inside out, and no one will ever know.
I gotta say, viewers listening, if you ever went through sexual abuse or anything else, I want you guys to feel completely confident reaching out to us and talking to someone about it. We are absolutely on your side. You don't have to explain yourself. If you want someone to talk to, it's okay. You can reach out to any of us. I'm a guest on it, but I know for a fact Coyote and Cosmos,
well, I mean,
they're going to be on your side.
I would recommend you know,
Like,
because there's the right people to talk
Right,
to.
There is the right
as,
people to
as,
talk to.
as incredibly supportive as I would want to be to anybody, for anybody opening up in any degree to me,
Don't
I
wanna
think
give
that there's people that are fucking qualified.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
people that went to school.
Hey, I
Yeah,
respect
we'll post a hotline on the fucking.
Yes.
That would be
in
real.
the
That would be
credits.
perfect.
There we go.
Wherever
But there,
the fuck we
there are
upload this,
people
it'll
out
be in the
there who
description.
believe you guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Just so you know, like,
Dude, seriously.
your life is not going to fall on deaf ears.
And I do. This is all a point that Cosmos made in some fucking ride that we had before. Like whatever. There's been lots of times where somebody will like say, "Hey man, I'm really going through it," and you have just at several different points responded with, "Well, don't fucking hold on to that shit."
Yep,
Like
fucking
yeah,
illuminate that, man.
one of
because-
the worst echo chambers you can have is yourself.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, regardless of which end of the spectrum you're on, whether what you're going through is awesome or you're a fucking tank, or if you are just a worthless piece of shit, all that's going to happen is that's going to compound inside
Yeah.
of your head
Oh,
if you
yeah.
don't have some other perspective to
Well,
introduce.
it'll just make you'll be worse off for it.
Yeah, it's true.
It's the same thing as like holding a grudge. It's like
Yeah.
drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. Like you holding on to it, it's gonna kill you,
Yeah.
and it's gonna make you have a harder time interacting with reality. Because what happened to you might be reality that you experience, but it is not the entirety of reality.
Yeah.
There is good people. There are safe places.
And I know that there is a fear with that revolves around the idea of talking about something makes it something worth talking about, or talking about something. You can effectively speak things into existence, but that should never be enough to deter somebody from talking about what they're going through.
Yeah.
And to top it off, while there may be some truth to that, I think that the fact that you're thinking about it, and the fact that there's even a question to bring it up, has already spoken it into existence,
Yeah.
So I want to ask this, shooting back to our original topic, while also everything we've said is good. I want Coyote and Cosmos, I want you guys to really think about it too. Outside of what we've talked about, when you think of yourself, who are you?
Oh my God.
This to me reminds me of this exercise that I like to do whenever I'm tripping out, and I need to do it next time we're tripping out. But it's I'm not going to tell you what any of the things is, except for the thing that
Wait, is this one of those things where it's like,
it's mental imagery. Like
Okay.
you imagine you're in a desert and you come across a box.
Okay, yep. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you come across a ladder, and then you come across, like a field of
Yeah.
flowers or an oasis, and then at one point a horse enters the scene, and the horse is supposed to embody yourself.
Yeah.
And mine was so
like,
great.
what does the horse look like?
My
Okay.
horse was this fucking like big, ethereal, like multi-changing, like shapeshifter,
horse.
beautiful, like emanating light horse. And I think that I am very much a love thing. Like when I think of myself, at this point, I've done the work to know that I am just love. And
Wow, God fucking bless
I
you,
just
man.
want, and that's why I want to give it to anybody that
May
wants
the
to
God
fucking
smile upon you.
be
Yeah, dude.
around, man. Like I love to give people the opportunity to see that they are too.
Yeah.
And it's important to, like, as important as it is to have light, it's important to have darkness. And the darkness I've been through has shaped me, and I have conquered it in the sense of I accepted it. I didn't, for a long time I tried to beat it up, and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
And I just fucking would cry and be sad, and just there was no end to this mental anguish that I was feeling all the time. And at the same time, like, trying to be nice, and then people taking advantage of me, and like girlfriends taking advantage of me, and like, and then I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna start taking advantage of people, in the sense of like I can do what I want, and I'm on this ego trip. And then one day you wake up and you go, where the fuck am I?
Yeah.
This isn't me. I need to reassess. And I came to the conclusion that because I'm sorry, because I want to be better and show people that they can be better and overcome all this, that I need to accept that.
Yeah.
It's because it's not like anybody else was there. It's not like I didn't, and this is where I say everything is your fault, because I fucking am walking through life, baby. I'm doing it all, and I'm sure there is stuff that is outside of my control, but whatever comes to me, it is my responsibility to do the right thing with it. And I'm responsible to be this, and it's good. It's not heavy to hold this persona that I am love. And whenever I look at anything, it's like we were talking about with capitalism, and it's all web and it's all connected. I understand that. So when I fucking stunned a potato bug today, I'm like, oh fuck, dude, I'm so sorry, and I'll put you in a nice little spot.
Though. Fuck yeah.
Or I chop a worm in half. I'm just like, no! It's really hard landscaping when you feel that everything is connected, and you understand, like, oh yeah, this worm is eating dirt and fertilizing soil. This bug is taking heavy metals out of the ground. This is doing this. And so I just insert myself right into that. Well, I'm a humaning, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability and help humans be humans with each other. So yes, to long story short, I'm love.
Fucking God bless you, man.
God bless.
Mwah.
God's bless.
God's bless, yeah. Any gods.
Gods be praised.
Gods be praised.
Yorland Grey, man.
That's
If
fucking
there's any
beautiful,
gods
man.
listening,
Yeah.
for the Levia's sake, please bless me.
Please bless me.
I think that you're fucking you're a pretty good role model for discovering self-love.
Well, thank you.
To that degree.
That's all I'm trying to do, man. And I'm trying to just do it by doing it. And that's, like, it's not about making a statement. It's just about being happy.
It's so true.
And extending that happiness so that other people can get on board, get on the fucking train. We want you here. There is good, and I want to help bring you to it. As shitty as school was, as shitty as my mental health was, as shitty as all those things, as shitty as getting kicked in the nuts every day of school was,
That's hell.
I had a great family. And as shitty as some of their problems, their intermittent things are, and their little arguments and squabbles, I have the best parents. I have a wonderful brother. I have good in my life, and it's a privilege, just being able to sit outside and not hear violence or just negativity. To be able to sit in peace is a fucking privilege. And I just want people to understand that that's possible. Like, you can acquire that. And if you came from a shitty background, you get to be the person that says, you know what, fuck this. I'm finding my own happiness, and it's gonna be better than staying in this oppressive cloud. Like, my mom lived in Santa Barbara. She experienced all sorts of shit, from her family cooking drugs in their house and their pots and pans they eat out of, to family, to all kinds of shit. And said, you know what, I have to get the fuck out of here. I have to leave everything I know. Because mystery is better than...
Is safer.
Yeah, and dude, it's so crazy.
It's a scary place.
To uproot your identity and bring it somewhere else. It's important to know that you are infinitely powerful and can do it. Because once you start, that's where my fears are, is always in starting. Because once I have something, I have to love it to the full. That's why I don't have a dog right now, because as soon as I get it, I have to love it. It's mine now. I'm responsible.
Is that overwhelming?
It can be, because I already love so many things.
Oh, dogs are totally overwhelming.
And dogs are totally overwhelming.
I've raised dogs my whole life. I have had a dog now for almost 6 years, and there's so many times where you're like, fuck.
You gotta love yourself enough to know when you can give love to something else.
Yeah.
And a dog is a huge thing. And a lot, and that's where you see people with shitty animals, is they desperately want to give love and get love, and
that's the end of it.
And they end up the people with 30 cats. But I love all of my kitties the best, and they eat her when she dies.
Yeah,
true.
Cats
Like she's still living.
Eat you,
dude. It's. I feel like we're just like
What
humanity.
a
Humanity, I know, right? To be eaten by a swarm of house
by your
cats.
own swarm of cats.
What else were you gonna do? Rot in a box?
That's true. I hope my body goes.
I want a
fucking...
sky burial, dude. Throw me to the buzzards.
I want to
be
fucking
the fucker the body drops on. You reach the body and you're like, whoa!
How I'm gonna go out is I'm gonna attach a cable to each of my limbs.
Ooh.
And then I'm gonna jump off the Golden Gate Bridge and turn into a human wind chime.
There you go.
And then have the birds pick at me. That's very. And then
as
my bones
long
fall
as
into
you
the
market
ocean.
it as like a social justice thing, they couldn't stop you. In
Oh,
San
dude.
Francisco.
Don't. Ooh.
Kill yourself for social
If
media.
anywhere.
I know.
So I was fucking talking to a buddy on the phone today, and we were talking about this shit that I've been going through, and I put somebody else through recently, and it came around to the point of loving myself, and loving ourselves, you know, the proverbial loving ourselves. And what stumped me is like, okay, great. The knowledge is there. The logic is there. I know what the end goal is. What's the first step to loving myself? You know? Like I think I get tripped up there. I think a lot of people get tripped up there because everybody, well, I think there's a general consensus that loving thyself is a healthy thing and it helps foster better relationships. But how do you fucking get there? Especially if you're somebody that's performed a lot of wrong in the past. And it's hard to love yourself because you have all of this history that leads you towards believing that you don't deserve to love yourself.
I actually have the answer to this.
Boom, boom.
I'm sorry, but I want you to finish.
No, go ahead.
So, the idea of loving yourself in itself is philosophical. And so the question you were asking just now is, how do you love yourself when you've done these wrongs? The step one is, and this is something that will actually apply to who you become. This is what I was talking about before, that one-liner of who are you, and I asked the two of you, who are you? Step one is figuring out who you want to say that you are and be proud of that. So for me, I want to be able to say, I'm a good man, and say it with enough experience to know that it's true.
Yeah, have the backing.
And so this first step is to decide who you are. You don't have to be something quite as simple as be good or bad or whatever you want to be. You could say, I want to be a lumberjack stripper, or whatever
the main crystallization.
Whatever you want to be. You don't have to be one thing either. But in order to love yourself, you first have to figure out who you want to be. And then after you've made enough day-to-day decisions to be that person, you will start to care about yourself. And so if you feel like you don't love yourself because of the decisions you've made, first decide who you want to be and who you want to think. When I think of myself, I am this, and I love that. I love that's who I am. And then make decisions to be that person. So I like, people in general are not good or bad. They're just people. But I've made I've made decisions for a long time to be a good man. And so now I can say with confidence, if somebody asks me, who are you? I say, I'm a good man. That I have made decisions to be that way for a long time. And so I have enough of this foundation to say confidently, this is who I am now.
Yeah, you proved it to yourself.
And I know that's who I'm going to continue to be.
Yeah. You've gotten on the track, and now that you can see it in the future.
That's right.
I know this is a common tactic too with people that are having like professional struggles or that have any kind of like large, lofty professional goal. Is that because that's what I did for a while? Because I wanted to be this echelon of firefighter, and I would say like, well, as a firefighter, I'm going to do this, and just by vocalizing it can be pretty empowering, but it's very hard to think that the lofty goal of even being a good man or friend or whatever somebody that's trying to love themselves wants to be, it can seem so much further away, so much less attainable when you're alone, when you have that fucking echo chamber, that negative self constructed echo chamber.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard. And I think that what's helping me a lot is a phrase. I tend to stick to mantras you know, like shit that just sounds real good.
Yeah.
And what's helped me a lot is like every day is an opportunity to make less mistakes. And
True.
if you surround yourself with good people, you're gonna retain some shit.
Oh, 100%, man.
And it can be hard to feel like I or we, depending on if somebody out there feels the same, it can be hard to feel like we deserve these good people after doing something shitty. But knowing that that is how you change is going to help, because changing is how you repay the person or the people or the yourself that you
Instead of an empty sorry.
Instead of an empty fucking sorry.
And
that
behavior.
echoes for years.
Yeah.
You know, I've been working with the idea that sorry is a temporary state of being, and it's this place where you're like, oh God, I'm really upset with myself that I did this. Very disappointed. And I wish I didn't do it. And I wish I didn't do it. And I wish I didn't do it. And I regret it. And I wish I didn't do it. And eventually it turns into, I'm not going to do that again. Mm-hmm. And that's when sorry starts to fade away. And you can regret shit. You regret shit for the rest of your life. I think it's totally fine to wish that you didn't do something bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that sorry is separate from regret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you can be sorry in the moment.
BRB.
But you don't have regret. I wrote a poem about a man that regret everything to the point where he has nothing. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
I'll wait till he gets back in.
Okay.
We can both hear it. But dude, I wouldn't be here if I thought you didn't have any redeeming qualities. You know, dude, like I just remember you can always call me. You can always call, dude. You got a whole car of friends.
That's what I'm saying, is that, like, as soon as you're with friends, it's very easy to talk to them and keep that ball rolling, you know? But
as soon as you're by yourself,
eventually they go away, you know?
Dude,
and
I understand.
That's the dark. That's when it comes over and
dude,
sits.
Some of the stuff that I've, even being the victim of bad things, and go, well, I guess I deserve that. And that's where I go, because I don't want to put blame on anybody else. And eventually I came to the realization, you know what? I'm pissed off at my ex. You know what? No, I didn't deserve that. Yeah. This isn't fucking cool. And you're on the opposite end, which is like you like being the person that enacted the pain. Yeah. And in that, you already are doing the thing that you're not bombarding that person with I'm sorries that are empty. You're not trying to force them to think you a different way, because they're not going to. Yeah. Because you need to just keep on living and know that you have redeeming qualities, that this isn't you forever, and that there's so many things all happening with that, in that, to the point where it was broken and put together so many times that it was destined to be this way in a strange sense. And both of when one of you was out, the other was in. When the other was out, the other was in. And it just kept, can I be your girlfriend again? You know? And and all you this is I think this is just something to be said about learning how to relationship. You know, how many real strong relationships have you been in? Like 4?
I think 4.
It's just, you got to keep using the lessons you learn and don't repeat them. And the biggest one, all I can say is if you can just be honest, even if it feels scary, because it gets it out of the way immediately, and you're not ever gonna feel this backpedal, and because you can't be present if you start from a place that with no foundation. You know, that's like, you gotta be present in a relationship to make it work. And if you didn't start present, you're not ever gonna be there. You gotta trust that you are good enough
Have I have any Kleenex?
on your own. You know, don't identify yourself with this blackness, this darkness that you think you are, because that's all the other person's going to end up seeing.
That's true.
Because you're projecting that instead of being like, hey, I'm fucking Coyote. You want to do something fun?
Fuck yeah.
You know, and that's what we see, because you're not afraid to get close to us, because we're not going to touch you in your romantic heart. You know, the heart that you desperately want to give to somebody, to the point where you're willing to make a facade. You know?
I like whether you put that your romantic heart. I think that a lot of us have 4 or 5 hearts that make us up, and each one grows or shrinks depending on your age.
There you go.
I think your romantic heart starts off in life pretty small, not to be confused with your intimate heart, which is different. And then as you get older, it just grows, and I think it probably peaks late 20s, early 30s. But it is something that pumps blood through your body. Is this idea, not even this idea, this like genuine want, not that there's anything wrong with this, but a genuine want to share your life with someone as you become the person who you were not growing up. You want to become that with someone. I like what you said, that your romantic heart.
Yep. Gotta have the romantic. Well, it's keeping all that.
I'm guilty of that. Fuck.
Dude.
Who doesn't want to be like?
I'm a goofball.
God, I'm so in love with this, with my partner. And I mean, what the fuck? So I've made all this money, but it's something that I knew for a long time, but I can now say confidently, if even people disagree with me, is there's no point in having a lot of money if you don't have anyone to share it with.
Yeah.
And the whole point of having a lot of money is being able to have experiences with someone that you love so much.
Well, you, if anyone, understands what the definition of wealth is.
Yeah.
And it's not having a lot of money.
No. It's having people and having experiences, and it just, people say money makes this or that. No, money just makes things easier for you. So
lubrication.
Exactly. It is. It's just a thicker lubrication on life, because I can do things now, go out with my friends, go on trips and pay for everything and not worry about it. And I know for a fact it will then make it easier for them too.
Totally.
And so it just does enhance who you were as a person, and it does make people are like, oh, money doesn't make life easier. Yes, money does make life easier. Money makes life a fucking
It makes it a shit ton easier, dude.
Yeah. There's so many things you don't have to worry about when you have money. Like bankruptcy, and make sure your credit card's paid off, and your
car registration, all the time you have extra time
that hits you like a fucking sucker punch.
Yep.
Car registration,
all those $200 fines.
Yeah, that shit comes up and you're like,
fuck.
I was not expecting that $200.
Yeah.
Even though it's sitting on the back of your license plate all year long.
I know. Yeah, like, it's not like you shouldn't expect it, but you don't.
Yeah.
You surely don't plan for it. So Cosmos and Coyote.
Yes.
I'm not sure when I'll be sober. If you guys would be willing, because you're both sober, would one of you guys be willing to drive my car to my house and one of you take me home?
Ooh. Is it a stick shift?
No, it's
demanding over here.
I know. No, I'm a needy bitch.
A demander.
Do you think you could do that, Cosmo?
I could.
Yeah, it's a breeze to drive. It's a lot of fun too.
I'm gonna crash your car.
I thought you were gonna get sober so fast.
I will tell you the honest truth. I have not drank this much in more than a year.
Oh.
And I do feel sober, but as I was out there, calling for Ralph.
Calling for Ralph?
Good old Ralph.
Oh.
Wretched Ralph.
Yeah.
Wretched Ralph.
I did think to myself, I'm probably not going to be sober enough to drive for a good another hour and a half. So I thought to myself, to avoid any potential trouble, I should probably just ask the boys if they would be willing to drive my rig home.
Sometimes you gotta call on the boys, dude.
I want to be responsible about this.
Oh, well, fuck yeah.
Get it. Well, Cosmos, I realized you definitely weren't anticipating this. So if you want to take my car to your house, I can just grab it in the morning and I can
okay.
drop off. Oh wait, no, you have to fucking pick me up from Dragon's house.
No, it's fine. We can make it work. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Luckily, I'm pretty close to where you guys pick me up. I'm like maybe 7 minutes away. So.
Oh, well, that ain't.
Seems longer than it is.
Jihad.
It is pretty fucking close by.
But I was gonna wait for you to be in the car because we were talking about regrets, and I wrote this poem a long time ago.
Tell me, I want to hear it.
So I wrote this. This is the first time I ever really wrote a poem. And I was in the shower. It was 2010. And I was in the shower. And I got this really weird feeling and just needed to I got out of the shower. I was still wet and started writing this down. I wanked it and I wrote this. I actually didn't because I was feeling weird. But it's called As I Awake.
Okay.
So as I awake on this hot summer's day, I look out the window and see children play. I get up and shower to ready my stay, or should I say wait against time. As I awake here in my cell, for I am a captive alone in this room, a prisoner to this place that keeps me from redeeming my regrets of my long life. I rot here alone because of pride, pity, and wasted time. As I awake here so quickly, hoping life was a dream, but no. The pains are slow and stiff, reminding me of my seemingly never-ending mortality. As I awake in this familiar pool of icy tears, reminding me of the endless feeling of loss, remorse, and lack of inner strength that I held so close to myself but let go. As I awake here in my skin, my prison, old and slow, my mind and memories are slipping away and leaving me a shell of my former self. As I awake on my birthday, adding one more year of lost thoughts and slowing cognition, my mind is nothing but grinding gears and rusting cogs of a tired machine that is far beyond obsolete and decades past repair. As I rest on my birthday, dreaming of ever-longing love in my heart, that deep need of compassion of another, I awake to pain and rush to the sink. As I awake on the cold tile in a pool of blood, I raise to see a man. My heart sings for the chance to speak to another, but once again my prayers go unheard, for it is my own reflection of my pathetic wrinkled face. As I gaze at myself, I cry with pain and agony as death shrouds me in an inky black cloak of anger and frustration, but also relief. As I die on the cold tile, once more I feel what little warmth I had leave my old broken body. As my soul began to leave me, I embrace death. I embrace and accept death, for it has freed me from my body, my prison. But not too soon after my demise on my 87th birthday do I feel my soul pull and tug, and suddenly I live again. For my life has no end. I feel more overwhelming depression than I have ever felt in my long, wretched life. As I breathe my first breath back into my lungs, I open my eyes to a bright, loud room. I am blind from the white light overhead, and the cold air hits my naked body. And I shiver in fear. I close my eyes and begin to cry. As I awake, my eyes open ever so slowly, my energy gone. I look upon the face of a beautiful woman who holds my wet, naked body so close to her heart. The warmth coming back, I hold my Savior close and don't let go. I am safe. After so many years of being alone, my prayers have been answered. As I forget the lonely pain of death and past suffering of my life, I am cleansed of my regrets, sins, anger, and sadness, for I am no longer alone. I am reborn.
I like that. That was a good job.
Thank you. And
you
that
are a fucking...
Nice and long, too. It really was not just like a simple thought. It was an actual stream of consciousness.
Yeah, it really was. And that's why I jumped out of the shower and was like, I got to write this down. But to me, that doesn't have to happen when you're old and dying.
What's
that's
interesting is that, like, that transition. What's interesting to me,
yes,
is that transition from this like old decrepit form, and into
new
something fresh is like exhausting.
Yeah,
to him,
it is. Well, we're born again.
Like, fuck, I have to do this again, and how quickly it comes back around.
Yeah. Well, and that's like
so
what
funny. He doesn't view it as this it's like some cool opportunity.
It's like, fuck, here we go.
Like, oh my god, again?
Yeah. But at the same time, this is all I wanted. Mm-hmm. And here it is. Yeah. And this is like when you were talking about how you had all these expectations of your dad, and that it'd be so much easier to have it would have been negative, and you could have it would have sated those negative thoughts that you had. But it didn't turn out that way. Yeah. And it was good. And you felt good. Yeah. And it was weird that it was that way for you. Yeah. And we talked about that you're just better at holding on to the negative instead of or expecting. That was when we were talking about expectations. That you were ready to expect that, and that's just where your muscles are. Yeah. And you're not strong in holding on to this. You deserve it, and it feels good. and where you get to eat a carrot and not whip yourself all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that when you whip yourself all the time, you're only going to make yourself more frustrated. It doesn't allow any room to rest. You got to rest. You know, when you've been on the mountain for 2 weeks and you fucking come down, and what do? You rest.
Sleep for fucking 30
Do you
hours.
keep going?
No.
Do you go, no, I have to keep going this hard the whole time? No,
I'm gonna run in.
No,
No.
you're not doing that. Because you did your job and you feel good.
That's true.
After you beat the shit out of yourself,
Yeah.
you give yourself a carrot. And you don't need to do that all the time. Not all things are like that. You found a vocation where you could do that forever.
Yeah.
It's like I was telling you that one time in the Bullfrog Dark. There's not enough trees, Todd. There's not enough trees.
There's enough trees.
There's
There's enough fucking trees.
There is enough trees.
But you're right though, it's not fucking sustainable. I'm just gonna blow my ass to smithereens.
I am so hungover. Oh my god.
Welcome back.
I knew this was gonna happen. Yes.
It's all part of the experience.
Suffer.
I know.
We're almost there, buddy.
This is what you get.
Yeah.
My body's so ready to punish me.
See, wealthy people get sick too.
Money doesn't fix everything.
I don't know. He can get some Pepto right now.
Dude, I drank Patron and Hennessy, which are usually relatively top shelf liquors. People are like, I just drink expensive booze. I'm over dirty liars.
That's not fucking true.
That's not true at all.
I've never heard that before.
That's a flex.
Yeah, that's
That
all
is a flex.
That's
It's
all
like,
It's
what am
all
I, giant
flex.
cock?
Yeah.
That's some dude
It's like, yeah, we
identifying
use
with
other
drinking.
like the rest of us.
Fucking amen.
That's the dude that's chain smoking fucking top shelf weed and doesn't feel a thing.
Yeah.
That's actual.
Oh god.
It's very silly. And that dude, living to be the crystallization of a negative identity that you think was cool. Like you picked it up somewhere along the way, and like your dad's an asshole, and you're an asshole.
Oh god.
Yeah.
But it's
And-
because
and
my
it's-
daddy taught me.
Yeah, and it becomes part of your personality. I know people like that, and I definitely think that when you're young, those jokes that adults make around you definitely stick with you, and you think, you know, like I was mentioning before, like self-deprecating,
Deprecating humor.
jokes. It's not healthy for you, and so when you're in your mid-20s, somebody says that, you're like, hey man, that's great, but let's go see a therapist like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really funny anymore, man.
Do go see a therapist.
It's
by the
kind of
way.
on you at this point, buddy.
Yeah.
You're not 16.
Well, that's like we were talking about. No one likes working with that dude that has an emotional breakdown at work all the time.
Brings his
And
shit with
he
him.
brings him shit with him instead of being like, dude, why didn't you stay home? Like,
Yeah,
but
stay the fuck home.
You
Like,
clearly have so much. you're
At
going
this
through.
point in your life, man, it's 100% on you. Like,
Yeah.
if somebody tells me, like, we're in mid-20s, people are like, oh, I'm this way because of my parent. It's like, nah, man, you're this way because of you.
yeah, you gave up.
And you need to accept that real fucking fast, because the rest of us
Yeah.
accepted that a little while ago.
Well, there is,
Yep.
there is definitely some shit that lingers for sure.
Oh well, yeah, but it's at a certain point, it's your responsibility.
Absolutely.
If you
Yeah.
keep looking back, oh, it's not my fault. I was born.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true.
And then you keep blaming it. Alan Watts talks about that all the time. He's like, what are you going to do? You're going to put the
gonna-
blame on
yeah,
your
exactly.
parents
You
as an
gonna unborn
85-year-old man?
Oh yeah.
You know, well, if my parents would have just done that way.
Yeah.
And I'd give my dad shit all the time because there was this toy store I was really little. I'm like, Dad, if you would just taken me to that toy store, but no, you waited and it shut down. He's like, I bought you so many fucking toys. He's all, fuck you. I bought you everything you ever wanted, you fuck.
Is that toy store near Taco Loco still open?
Taco Loco.
Where
is
The
that?
one over near Long's? Or CVS? It's literally connected, or it was connected
The one
to
that's
it.
connected to
Oh!
the... Yeah, it is. Yes, it
it's-
is.
It's there.
It is?
It's by my bank, yes.
You want to stop by?
Hey, you want to
11
get
o'clock at night.
Just break in, steal a bouncy ball,
one of those super
put an
bounce?
IOU, and I'm real sorry about that.
I'm real sorry about that.
I can afford.
So you're gonna turn not down this street because it's one way, but down the next
Correct.
one way going the opposite way.
You're going to go up the up way.
Right.
I fucking turned left on purpose.
You're gonna drop him back off of the forest.
Oh yeah, it's still open.
Oh, dude, two.
There was nobody there.
One person behind.
So I showed up and there was one other person inside, and I literally said, "Oh, are you guys not real busiest time of the night?" And she's like, "Nah, we're busy on the weekends."
They're like, "Homie, it's a Wednesday."
I know. I thought, yeah, Whiskey Wednesdays, right? No. More like, when is anybody else going to be here Wednesdays?
We're like, why are you here
I know.
Wednesdays?
What the fuck, Wednesdays?
Okay, what do you think? You want to drive?
Yeah, I can drive his. That's fine.
Okay.
We going to Texas?
Hell yeah, bro.
Hell yeah. That'd be fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, then I'll just follow you, or you'll follow us.
Yeah, I'll follow you guys. Hey, let's
well,
fucking close this up.
This closes it up.
Oh, let me ride with you, buddy.
Yes.
That way I can tell you how the fuck to get
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, this was a good Nitro Ride.
Yes. Hey, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Dragon.
Dragon, I'm checking out. I
Fucking
appreciate the
jumping in.
opportunity, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Or Cosmos and Coyote. Who the fuck knows what gender you are? Although we've talked about cocks quite a bit. So.
Well, I have both parts.
Cox.
Hey, you live in the dream, buddy.
It is a nightmare.